to another Late Nights with Warm Whiskey. Time to get a little bit active and start being more diligent about knocking these out. Tonight I'm going to actually redo something I did that I should have released and I didn't. It's summer, work, play, very busy. But I must be diligent and must keep plugging along with this effort. Tonight we are going to be covering the Evan Williams 1783 small batch version 2.0, will we say, the actually newly revised bottle label, and the actual whiskey itself has increased from 43% alcohol by volume, 86 proof, to now 90 proof. So a very welcome tweak to part of Heaven Hill's portfolio, and still coming in at that budget-friendly price of should be $20 less, maybe a little bit more, depending upon the neck of woods that you may find this. Prices vary state to state, and with that said, if you can find this, it should be a very budget-friendly bottle. And I have taken some time to make myself familiar. Nice squared up bottle. Welcome upgrade for somebody who has to stock liquor shelves. Round bottles tend to go all over the place and do not push straight back onto a shelf. So thank you for that, Heaven Hill. With that said, nice new attractive label, nice metallic gold bordering, nice gold bottom label. We have Kentucky's first distillery, so yeah, I believe just across the Ohio River there, Evan Williams. Whether that's true or not, historically, I don't know. Expertly crafted. I'll give you that one, Heaven Hill. Extra aged in white oak, 90 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 45% alcohol by volume. And let's go ahead, pour a little of this out into the old Glencairn. We'll give it a little bit of a nosing, give you my thoughts on that, and then we'll just dive right in. And maybe if this doesn't run too long, maybe I'll do a little comparison with the 6-year green label Heaven Hill. I may have some of that close by to me, and let's go ahead and dive right into the nose, and we'll maybe talk a little bit about their definition of a small batch bourbon. Pleasant nose, cherry, oak, apples. Get the hint of vanilla, a little brown sugar, definitely oak, and a little bit of that baking spice right on the nose. Definitely getting a good sense of it, more so. I think that was one thing with even 86. It's watered down just enough that you're muting things. So alcohol enhances flavor and can actually carry both flavors and aroma more so than something that is in more water. So the more water, the more diluted, taking it down to 86, 80 proof, that legal limit of what we can define or put on the shelf and call whiskey in the United States, mutes flavor. It mutes some of those aromas because that's what water does. Water waters things down and takes away. So the higher the alcohol, the more flavors and aroma are going to be carried over. This may be, beating an old drum, but I am pretty adamant that there are not many or any 80 proof whiskeys that I really consider or care for or are going to use my own money to purchase. There may be some exceptions to that rule, especially when you get on the really budget end of it, but I'll stop rambling about that and we'll dive in and take a taste of this. Here's the cherry. The cherry eludes me quite a bit on some bourbons, but this one, just a classic. Cherry, nice oak, nice little spicy element, but everything's rounded. Everything flows once it hits your tongue. There's nothing sharp. There's nothing overriding each other. You're just getting a really smooth cherry, vanilla, classic bit of maybe just slight hint of caramel. Then there's the oak and some of that baking spice. Medium finish at 90 proof. I have no problem with the way the finish is performing on this. So 90 proof Heaven Hill, my hat's off to you. Thank you for refining an already good product, making it a better product. They call this a small batch bourbon. So their definition of small batch, because it varies from distillery to distillery, there really is no, I believe, legal definition to this point in time. And if there has been any updates, anybody can correct me on this, but there really is no defined small batch. There's just what companies use as their own definition of small batch. And to Heaven Hill, from what I have read, this is a batch that is pulled from less than 300 barrels that vary between 6 to 8 years old. So that's what gives us the Heaven Hill small batch, and I give them credit due if they're sticking to that 300 barrels, less than 300 barrels at a time to make a batch of this small batch. For a distillery of their size, an operation of their size, 300 barrels would definitely constitute a small batch. So I have no problem with their designation on that. And they seem to be pretty transparent about what they define as a small batch. So appreciate that as well, because there are others out there that call it small batch but don't really necessarily clarify or give you what in their rationale makes their product a small batch. I've appreciated this bottle. Should have got this review out a little bit quicker than I did. This product's probably been out now for a good month or two, maybe about a month. I guess it may hit other places quicker than others, but I am a big fan and can appreciate the upgrade. So other distilleries out there, take note. Maybe you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Maybe you don't need to come up with a new name and a new marketing campaign and slogan. Maybe take the approach of refining what you make and improving what you make and what you offer and you bring to market. That is a strategy that I believe is going to do you well. So, I'm going to have to start knocking more of these videos out. I hope you guys can like, subscribe. I really don't like to say that in that manner. A lot of these YouTubers these days are really annoying. I understand trying to be entertaining and trying to captivate your audience and be interesting. And hopefully I'll hone that. I know I'm rough around the edges and just trying to find the right format and formula for this. So bear with me, but I hope that I never become that obnoxious, fake, over-enthusiastic, YouTuber. That's maybe what the kids want. But we're adults and we're drinking whiskey, and we are not that nonsensical. On that note, till next time, I hope to see you guys. Like and subscribe. Or don't. Until then, Skål!